Hello everyone and welcome to the animators and thank you for joining me as we go over a We Never Learn route that never actually happened. That's right, I'll be presenting to you what I think could be an interesting and intriguing route based around the character of Sekijo. Now I understand that there were some jokes and comments made about Sekijo hijacking Rizu's route, so that's technically her route already done and dusted. But as we know, each route is separated into their own parallel timeline / universe. So if something happened in the Rizu route, it can still occur within the Sekijo route, just played out slightly differently. So before we start talking about the events that would transpire in this fictional route, let's first establish a goal for Sekijo's character. This would be something that she wants to achieve in her route being presented. Personally speaking, I don't want any romance to kind of be involved in this, because there's not enough evidence to state that Sekijo wants a lovey-dovey relationship with Rizu, and there's definitely not enough evidence to state that she wants one with Nadayuki. Sorry if you ship those characters, but unfortunately, it's just not going to cut the bread today. Instead, what I want to do is I want to make this a more of a emotional and psychological route for Sekijo's character. For her to feel desire to be more important to Rizu's character, where in Sekijo's mind, she feels like she's always playing second or third best. She feels like she's undervalued and just wants a bit of gratitude and wants to have that reassurance that she is, in Rizu's heart somewhere, even at the base friendship level. And I think this could work because we both know how important Rizu is to Sekijo, as well as the fact is, Sekijo does unfortunately seem to be second or third best in Rizu's eyes because we have Nadayuki and we have Furuhashi. These characters are always one step ahead of Sekijo's characters, despite all of the situations, all the support, and all of the events that have transpired between Sekijo and Rizu. So maybe Sekijo could be feeling a little bit jealous in this situation. So the all-end-all be-all would just basically be the climactic ending of this arc for Rizu to kind of express herself and reassure Sekijo that she is important and that she is valued. This route here is a mental struggle for Sekijo's character as she overcomes some mental hurdles to try and recreate and establish and build that bond she has with her best friend. Because yes, we always have Sekijo calling Rizu her best friend, but Rizu only states them to be friends. And when you do that with someone, it does take a small mental toll, and each little blow can build into a bigger impact. So then let's get started by talking about Chapter 1. This essentially would be the series reintroducing the characters that are involved in this route. So Sekijo, Rizu, and at this moment in time, I do want to have Kirisu and Furuhashi appearing as support side characters with not big roles, but still roles that would be useful for the story. While also laying down the purpose of this route, telling us as the audience what is likely to happen and some form of direction that the route is going to go down in. So I think Chapter 1 could kind of end with the mention of Sekijo's birthday soon arriving, as this day would be the climactic closer of the route in where we get the kind of emotional blowout, the big impact to kind of send us away with a smile on our faces or tears coming out of our eyes, whichever way you want to perceive the emotions and feelings being presented. Now I understand that we did see Sekijo's birthday in the Rizu route, but again, like I said, these routes happen in parallel universes / timelines, so one thing that happens in another route can happen in the same route, just slightly different, with a lot of different circumstances. So after this, we'll get a rather comedic chapter showcasing off the friendship between Rizu and Sekijo, ending with Sekijo asking Rizu the question, "What is it that I mean to you?" Which Rizu would just reply back with saying, "You're my friend, Sekijo," which has that monotone kind of expression and sound to her voice that Rizu kind of carries. She doesn't really understand the question. She's a little bit confused as to why Sekijo would be asking that type of question. So Sekijo's response would just be, "Oh, okay." So she'll be looking down with a sad look / expression on her face, turning away, revealing a small hint of disappointment, letting us know as the viewer or reader that she hopes for a better answer. So now for my next point, I want to take you back to Rizu's best friend and answering that question. Well, I can say confidently that this is Furuhashi. My reasoning for this is because they've known each other the longest, and if anyone knows Rizu best, it's going to be Furuhashi for that particular reason. So I would like it if Furuhashi plays a supportive role, and having this interaction between Sekijo and Furuhashi, which is brand new. We haven't really seen this from the main series, so this would be awesome. But the purpose that this would bring would be Sekijo would then learn and better understand Rizu struggling through her learning process and what she's had to go through in life so far. This would give us new content based on the time Rizu and Furuhashi were learning together before Narayuki, as well as just new information about the characters in general. Plus, the dynamic is a nice change of pace because it's something we've not seen from the main timeline. So these characters would all get nice build up, nice bit of focus, and Furuhashi kind of giving this supportive role to Sekijo makes sense because she's always supporting the other female characters and Narayuki by giving them advice about things and how to approach situations. So if you want someone with knowledge about Rizu, advice about Rizu, the best person to go to is Furuhashi. Sekijo would know this because she's very knowledgeable, she's very smart, and she probably came to this conclusion as well, hence to why the events planned out this way. So then, with her newfound knowledge of Rizu Ogata, it's time for a way for Sekijo to find a purpose or reason to have Rizu want to keep her around longer. So here's what I present. Competitive challenges. As we know, this would combine Rizu's competitive nature with her love for games. The goal of this is making Rizu want Sekijo around longer so that they can play games more and more, thus making Sekijo feel more important to Rizu as not only a rival, but as someone she enjoys playing games with. Purposefully, Sekijo would lose to kind of get a positive reaction out of Rizu's character. Because personally speaking, as an example for real life things with myself, I play a card game called Cardfight Vanguard. When I teach someone how to play, I always let them win first, because that way then they learn the rules and they always have fun playing because they've won. You have more fun and more positive experiences if you win than if you lose. So for this, that makes sense. But then the final challenge comes into play, and this is in form of science. And as we all know, both characters have had a rivalry since school to see who is smarter and who can get the most grades. Of course, this was a one-side rivalry from Sekijo's point of view, but at the same time, Sekijo has always been trying to get a better or higher score than Rizu all throughout school. This time, she wants to win. That purposeful losing is out the window, but no matter how hard she tries, she still loses in the end, thanks to Rizu being that genius. Thus ending this chapter with a curious Rizu. She's noticing a little bit of a change and a look of disappointment on Sekijo's face, piquing her curiosity and making her want to find out more in the background. So a bit of time has passed, and when Sekijo comes back home, she arrives to be greeted by her parents, who want to take her away on a family holiday. Yes, her parents are getting along nicely in this route. However, Sekijo refuses this offer until Rizu makes her appearance known and blurts out saying, "You should definitely go. This will be good for you." Known to us, Rizu just wants to help Sekijo because she noticed some slight changes and some slight disappointment, so she thinks that Sekijo would be happy to have some time away and some time to relax. But to Sekijo's character, she's feeling confused and slightly hurt because she doesn't know why Rizu is doing this. This causes her to storm off and thus go on the holiday with her parents. Now, on this holiday, she meets Miss Kirisu, who after hearing Sekijo's thoughts/struggles with not being able to understand her desires to be more important or acknowledged by Rizu Ogata, Miss Kirisu advises Sekijo to look at herself with a wider view. And she says, "See all of the accomplishments that you've made so far. It's you that is Rizu's roommate. It's been you who has been supporting Rizu all throughout, so it's only natural to presume that Rizu deeply cares about you, So basically giving our nose-bleeding scientist a ray of hope in saying, look, I know you're feeling down. I know you're feeling sad and confused and maybe a bit lonely. But at the same time, what you're saying and what you're struggling with is not actually real. Rizu does care about you, and just because she doesn't call you her best friend and she calls Furuhashi her best friend and not yourself, you are still someone valuable and important to you. That's what Kiryu would say. Maybe it's a little bit kind of deep for Kiryu to say that, but I like her as a supportive character in this role, and I think she fits better than say an Azumi or a Uruka in this regard. It's birthday time, and Sekijo arrives home off a holiday with her family, and the apartment is dark. No signs of Rizu anywhere. Flicking on the lights, however, she's met with a loud bang and a surprise as Rizu appears, remembering it's her birthday. This overwhelms Sekijo with tears of joy as she starts tearing up. Confused, Rizu asks why, which Sekijo then explains all of her inner thoughts and emotions about how she didn't know if Rizu truly valued her or if, the friendship that they had is as strong as it should be. All Sekijo wanted was Rizu to call her her best friend. That would mean the world to her. But then Rizu would respond to this with just, oh, that's what was bothering you? Kind of still slightly in that confused state, but, relieved that it was only that was on her mind. Because again, we know as audiences that this is not the case. Rizu would know that this is not the case, but at the same time, it's a nice emotional outlet for Sekijo's character to go through. This then leads to Rizu expressing and explaining her inner thoughts, telling Sekijo that she always viewed Sekijo as an important and valuable friend. If it wasn't for Sekijo, she would never have been brave enough to move into the dorms when moving out for college. As well as in the past, it has always been thanks to Sekijo's support and advice that she's managed to get as far as she has. To Rizu, Sekijo is her strength, her support, and gives her courage to become a better version of herself. And she now understands the importance of having a rival to better one another in their goals and conquest for more knowledge and results. So she thanks Sekijo for always being there for her, always being this friend and this support, always giving her everything she could possibly ask for. Finally, Rizu ends her explanation with, yes, I may view Furuhashi and Nadayuki as my best friends, but Sekijo, you're still one of the friends I can't bear to lose. I would never replace you. I can't replace you. You are the most important thing that I have in my life at the moment. This, of course, would be that emotional, that impactful, that turning point for Sekijo's character to just have that ray of hope, to have that feeling of achievement for her character. I like this idea playing out in this way, because not only does it make Sekijo's feel important and feel valued, opening her eyes once again to the fact that the connection they both share is really strong and stable, but also displays growth from Rizu's character in being able to see that something's wrong with Sekijo based on her actions and expressions, and does something positive about it to try and help. So these two characters bounce off each other to give each other motivation and strength, thus developing both characters. Now I understand that there might be a few flaws in this storyline, especially when trying to explain or expand how this could span over 10 or so chapters. But I think that this type of route between these two characters would build up Sekijo's character in giving her focus and maturity. And it would also be a mixture of comedy and emotion, taking an example from real world situations like I've already stated. After all, people sometimes feel jealous and undervalued by someone they care deeply about. So I really do like this aspect, and I think this could work. However, with all that being said and done, you'll have to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on what you think of the points that I've raised in this video. Or if you have any other ideas on how they can do a Sekijo route, then of course let me know in the comments down below, get creative, and of course I'll see you all in another route video, because I plan to do more characters and see how we can explore them and advance their characters along, having a conclusional story to their character. I don't know who I'm doing next, so it'll have to be a nice little surprise when it comes. But hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe for more videos, and have a great day. Arigato, matane, Goodbye.